want to talk a little bit about precision optics, some of the adjustments on them that you may be not familiar with, what they do, and why they're not so scary. So, what I got here is an old Bushnell. It was on my father's old 30-06, 1-inch tube, small magnification. It has an option here for having a post inside for low light. And as you can see, we got two adjusting knobs. One will be for elevation and one will be for windage. And you can tell that they're not meant for making on-the-fly adjustments, meaning you go to range, you do your zero in, usually for 100 meters, put the caps back on, and that's it. You do your hunting with that, and that's how life went. But you get into the precision stuff, and I got a couple good examples here. So we have the Minox ZP5 here, and when you look at it right off the bat, we've got 3 different adjustments there. And on this one, there is no caps. So I was like, oh, why is there no caps? One other option that you can't tell for adjustments, or 2 other, is of course we got your magnification. And then one right on here that we can't really tell what it is kind of like a focus adjustment. So what all we have here? Well, you got your elevation, just like your hunting scope. You can dial in for your height. We have windage, just like your hunting scope, so you can dial in for your left and right. But we have this other mystery one on the other side, and like some things within the precision community, we have fancy names with a fancy definition, and there's one of them that's called parallax. And the parallax gets talked about a lot. You'll hear people talk about that. Well, what's your parallax adjustment and what's it going to do for you? It's really not that complicated when you look at what this function is. It basically allows you to focus in what you're seeing at a distance. And when you look at this one and other ones, like even on this Athlon we have here, a lot of times you'll have numbers, and what they'll denote is distance. So like 100 meters, 200 meters, 500 meters, and then you'll have the little infinity sign. And that gets you kind of in the ballpark if you were to adjust for those distances. If you knew you were shooting at, say, 300, you could dial in your parallax to 300, look through, and ideally you should be using this to get that sight picture as absolute clear as possible. And that's what your parallax is. It's really nothing more fancy than that. Allows you to get the clearest picture you can at the distance you're shooting at, and you can, it helps you get, of course, a better on target. And that's it. The reasons why we don't have caps on our elevation and windage is simple. We want to be able to dial in for those adjustments now. We've created a dope book per se, or we have our dope written down, or we're using a ballistic app that's telling us what we need for a distance. Well, you can then go and dial that in, right? So I know on this rifle that I can, through dope, if I want 200 meters or 300 meters, I can dial in a certain amount of elevation. I can aim on, and I'll be there. So very helpful. Windage, you can dial for windage. Typically, a lot of guys don't dial for windage. We set that on our 0 and leave it, and we'll just use holds for windage because it's changing so much. Your power, basically that's your zoom. How close are you going to zoom in on what you're looking at? Again, that is a preference thing. Of course, the more you zoom in, the smaller your field of vision gets, the harder it can see multiple targets if you're engaging stuff in a PRS style competition or multiple targets in the field. So that is something you're always going to be moving in and out, but it's a pretty understandable. Everybody has a good understanding of what that zoom is about. The other small adjustment you can have on your eyepiece, it allows you, especially for somebody like myself, You can see I wear glasses, so I have some type of vision correction where I need to wear glasses. But when I use that adjustment, basically what you're going to do is focus the whole optic for your eyes. So I can shoot with this optic without wearing glasses, and it's and again, being a first focal plane, you've got that reticle on that first focal plane. You would look at an object, a bright object, i.e. the bright sky, and you would adjust that until your reticle is as crisp and clear as possible, and then leave it. And that's it. That's one of those set and forgets, but that's what makes the whole optic work best for you. So yeah, there you have it. Some of those adjustments, some of them are scary when you hear about it. A lot of guys talk parallax. They're not maybe getting into what it really is, but it's not a scary adjustment at all. And your elevation and windage, again, not scary. You can get around those and understand them with your ballistic apps, and they help you get those shots, first round hits. So that's kind of a very basic intro into precision optics and how they differ from a hunting optic. So yep, there's other things you can, got any questions, drop us a line or put a message in the video below. And don't be afraid to hit us up at Gothic Line Armory, www.ca. Thanks.